Check this out.
Welcome to BLPA Big Show. Hockey sports, life for the adult athlete. Yeah. Powered by the Beer League Players Association.
Better follow me.
Follow us at BLPA Big Show on every social media outlet. Follow the crew on Twitter at Nicker Jones and Trish at Trish Dangle.
Let's get it. Here we go.
Welcome to the greatest sports show in the world. Good week, everybody. Hey, shout out to all you folks that are just on the front lines of everything, doing shit. You guys are fucking rad. So shout out to you guys. Thank you guys. Trish, how you doing?
So happy to be here today. We have a super special guest. So excited to have him back.
Well, I don't know about super special. We got, okay, maybe in one way. We got Danny Vibes. Danny, what's up, buddy?
Oh, just living life, man.
Just living life. Hey, that's what I like to hear. I'm living life too. Getting older every day. Turned a year
you had a
older.
birthday.
Yesterday was a birthday. I'm wearing my special gift from my special lady, aka my wife, got me a blasty for my birthday. But she also added, I don't know why you like that jersey. It's pretty effing stupid, but I don't get to judge.
It's the best jersey Calgary has, in my opinion.
100%. I like it.
Ugly.
Listen, I like the retros. I like last year's Heritage Classic way better than the ones they were wearing a few years prior. But Blasty takes the cake. Like I haven't been a fan long enough to root for the team while they were wearing these. So now that it's kind of come back full circle, I'm stoked. And I got the last large in the city. Look at this flames coming out of his nostrils here. So
why don't you just get a tattoo?
Hey, don't tempt me. I've been looking and thinking about doing a hockey tattoo. I have one tattoo, but it's unfinished, and I thought, well, what a way to finish it, than to do a hockey one. Add a little hockey.
Do you have any sports tattoos?
Me or Dan?
No, Dan.
I have one tattoo.
What is it?
My rule with tattoos is if I have an idea and I like it, and a full year later I still like it, I'm probably fine with it for the rest of my life. If not, I would have just the dumbest shit on my body.
I do like
that. Is it a sports themed tattoo or just something?
It is not. It is more sentimental than that.
Got it.
Thanks, Carolyn, by the way, for saying happy birthday. My tattoo is of just nonsense. Not normally something I would have, but it's been unfinished for so long that I always think, like, should I finish it? And then I always say, no, I shouldn't, because it does hold some special meaning to me. But I always go back and forth. But I would like a hockey tattoo. That would be pretty rad, and maybe it is Blasty. I don't know.
I was gonna say, would you get like a team logo? Because I feel like, I'm in the Chicagoland area, and that's so crazy. Like the amount of people that have Blackhawks tattoos or like Cubs Sox tattoos. I'm like, that is not a commitment I'd be willing to make. But
hey, you know what? My buddy Frank has some Chicago tattoos, and like the dude loves Chicago. Like you gotta give it out to him. Like he's passionate about it. I'm passionate about a lot of things. But I'm not getting like Elvis Presley or Chipper Jones tattooed on myself. Maybe I should, because, I like those things. But then I'm like, well, I mean, what would that serve? Like, I'm always going to like Elvis and Chipper, but probably not enough to immortalize them on my body,
Mm-hmm.
So,
I get it. There's plenty of stuff I love that I'm not putting on my body.
Like, listen, I should probably put a bottle of ranch on my body. That's how much I love it. But see, someone even just right now, as I said
did.
That Facebook.
I don't know who Brandon is, but I'm disappointed.
I do know who Brandon is, and I love the guy now. I love him even more. I respected him. Now I love him, right? So, yeah, so I don't know. I keep thinking that I want to get another hockey-themed tattoo just because hockey, like, is my life. But I'm just not sure if I want to do that. Because I think the thing about it is you're always like, well, you're always going to second guess it eventually, right? Like, oh, should I have gotten something else? Should I have gotten that? And so, yeah, that's kind of my holdup, right? Like with my first tattoo, I was kind of forced into doing it, and then it turned out to have like this crazy meaning after the fact, but not planned or anything like that. So I don't know, kind of a crazy thing. But lots of things to get into today. We didn't even mention our official partner before we started because we just organic chat right off the start, right? Because we're organic. The Whole Foods podcast chat right there, just organic as fuck.
Don't love that.
Never been. Oh no, wait! I did go once in Denver.
See, there you go. You've been there, Dan.
It was you wanted me to pick up Gatorade for the tournament, and they don't carry it.
Yeah, you think Gatorade is organic? No, it's artificially made in a lab.
They only sell organic.
Yeah,
they
do.
didn't even have
don't
body armor or anything. I'm like walking around, just like, well, now I'm gonna use a bathroom.
Perfect. You were gonna leave.
That's a riveting story.
Yeah. Did you tell him?
It is when the cleaning ladies tried to come in 4 or 5 times, and the guy in the stall next to me kept screaming, "No!"
No.
Wow.
And so he left, and like I'm still in there. I wasn't communicating with them. I'm doing my business, and then they come in, and I come out of the stall, and they all freak out and run.
Nice. Just hey,
it was pretty good.
Dan, you were leaving just some organic waste at the organic store, so not a big deal. But anyway, let's get these parted. We got to let you know this show is brought to you by Hockey Wolf. Listen, I spent a lot of time chatting with a lot of different companies that want to be involved with the BLPA and our group. And, you know, I love the fact that everyone wants to be involved, but I don't want to be the sellout show, right? I don't want to just hitch our wagon to everyone. I was looking for someone special, someone that kind of represented what we are and really wanted to work together and you know, make the group better. And Hockey Wolf is that. So they sell like team gear. They're a pro shop basically that was created by beer leaguers just like us. And I always say we want to support the people that support us. That's what Hockey Wolf is. So go check them out, hockeywolf.com. They have a couple of pro shops, one in Montana, one in Seattle, but they do ship all over the world. I want to say United States, but I'm sure they'll ship anywhere if they really want to. And there's going to be a lot of BLPA branded merch, new stuff you can't get elsewhere. You can't even buy from us. They're actually making BLPA merch that only they can sell. So go check out Hockey Wolf and tell them the BLPA sent you. They're awesome sponsors. And follow us on social media. I know this is usually Trish, but I'm on a roll here, Trish, so I'm going to keep going.
When you're for it. Take it.
When you're hot, you're hot. That's all I got to say.
Birthday boys rolling.
So social media, go follow us, the BLPA. You can follow Trish at Trish Dangle. On Twitter, you can follow me at Nicker Jones on Twitter and the Nicker Jones on Instagram. I don't know where you can find Dan, but just look for him, Danny Vibes. Is that how they can find you, Dan? Like, is Danny Vibes?
I just kind of show up. I should.
You can find him in the live chat
with Danny Vibes or something. That'd be fun.
See the users are saying get the Blasty tat so when all the Flames fans are jerking off to how much they suck, they have a target. Hey, listen, the Flames are struggling.
Blasty on the booty.
Booty Blasty. Booty Blasty.
Booty Blasty
Booty
on the
Blasty.
Boy.
Hey, listen, the Flames
How many Instagram follows for that?
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm trying to get the BLPA to 10,000. You have to do that to use the link in the swipe up, and I'm just
you want that swipe up.
You could go buy 10,000 followers, right? Like you could go buy 10,000 followers for like $100. They're fake, I get it, but they'll get you to where you're going. Almost like a prostitute. You just don't enjoy it as much, as long, you know what I'm saying? Like a prostitute will get you where you're going, but if you're with someone that you care about and love, it's all that much better. So that's why I want.
Do you speak from experience?
I'm a man about the world, all right, and so I know things, and so that's all I'm saying. And so when we get to 10,000 followers on Instagram, we're a quarter of the way there. When we get there, I'm just going to give away a VIP Dex experience. I'm going to pay for the flight. I'm going to pay for the hotel. I'll probably even buy you dinner, but you're buying me the margarita is all I'm saying. So once we get 10,000, one of our lucky followers will get that. So go follow us on Instagram, the BLPA. Invite all your teammates. I mean, listen, it's over $1,000 for the prize. $1,000.
It's like, speaking from experience, like obviously, like I've been to a few, and trying to get people to go and to travel because we haven't hit Buffalo yet. Like the big thing is usually like the tournaments. It costs what it costs. Well worth it. The hotel and the plane. That's what can get you. Like right now, travel's cheap. That's not always going to be the case. Like take the deal. Follow us on Instagram.
Take the deal. 10,000 followers. Take the deal. Hey, also,
just do it.
We're going to talk about a couple of tournaments and some unsolicited advice and shootouts in beer league. That's what we're going to talk about today. But I had a conversation with a very cool group today that the BLPA is going to get involved with. The group is called Save Pond Hockey. .org if you want to look at their website. But they're a group of beer leaguers over in Finland who grew up playing pond hockey, playing outdoors where they could all the time. And with all the climate change, like I'm not a climate scientist. I know I am a scientist, just not on climatology. And so they're having some issues over there where it's just not staying frozen long enough over there. Like the ponds are, in fact, disappearing is how they say it. And so they're trying to bring some awareness to that. They're trying to save pond hockey because they love playing outdoors. It's a big part of our sport. And so we're going to team up with these guys and help these guys, raise some money, raise some awareness, and just do some cool things with them. But I talked to them today, and they're really rad people. They recognize that the greatest Finnish goaltender in history is Mika Kiprusoff of the Calgary Flames. Wore Blasty. I'm 100% sure. I'm 99.9% sure that he did. And so I'm pretty stoked about that because I love playing hockey. I love playing on the pond. And so hopefully we can get some cool things going, like kind of our outdoor tournament at Crested Butte in January of 2022. Super stoked about that one.
The views
that
there
might be my
just look
birthday present
incredible.
to myself.
Hey, treat
That's
yourself.
a hell of a birthday present.
Treat yourself, Trish. But you know what, Trish? If you got 10,000 followers on our Instagram page, you might win that one for free. So
I'm working on it.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm gonna make my mom an Instagram and have her follow.
Oh, hey, have her follow me too, Trish. I'm gonna slide in them DMs.
No, absolutely not.
All right, so listen, Trish. Why don't you start off? Like, what's on the docket? What are we talking about today? Let's go.
Yeah, before we really dive into the meat of what we've got here, I want to just quickly mention, just in case anybody that listens to this doesn't know, the PWHPA is partnered with the MSG and the Rangers right now, and they are going to be playing a televised game on Sunday at 7 Eastern at MSG. It'll be on the NHL Network and Sportsnet if you're in Canada, and you should watch it. Give them as much viewership as you can because that's going to be some amazing hockey. Some huge names out there. Kendall Coyne, if you're from the Chicagoland area, she'll be playing in that. So
she's fast.
Definitely. Yeah, she's. Yep, that's
she's
I guess
one hell of a fast
the
skater.
one thing, right?
Well, not the one thing. That's
she's
just
also pretty good at hockey. Other than
listen. Hey, don't put words in my mouth. That's how people would know her. If they don't watch female hockey, they would know her from the All-Star game where she was out there fucking just laying fucking fire on the ice, right? With So what do you want me to do?
She melted that ice with her feet.
So hey, listen.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're here to support all hockey. We want that to be successful. So go check it out. Go check out the game. Tweet about it. Talk about it. Be a friend. Tell a friend. All that good stuff. And I think that's a good thing to bring awareness to. We were doing the NWHL, trying to get people to watch on Twitch, and obviously some things befell that organization. But hey, doesn't mean we should stop supporting women's hockey in any form or fashion.
Definitely. But yeah, I'm going to dive right in because something pissed me off this past week. Hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh, yeah.
So I skate this awesome rat skate. Most of the guys are pretty great. It's, the skill level's all over the place, but I play on a lot of teams, no brag, but I get a lot of ice time. So when I go out to a rat skate with friends, it's for fun. Like I'm not there to play my hardest. I mean, I'm not playing on I don't have an A League championship or anything, thank Dad. But I skate a lot. So when I go to a rat skate and it's not a game, I'm just having fun, and I'm not playing my best. And I had a guy come up to me and my roommate, who's also my D partner when we're playing, and give us some unsolicited advice that A, was not good advice, B, came from a player who I didn't ask, which is why it was unsolicited, who I don't really know, and who isn't very good. So I was really pissed off, and so was she. And I was just like, hey, didn't ask for that. We're out here having fun. And he kind of skated away, but I guess he does that to a lot of people. And I was curious. I hope so. But I'm curious if y'all experience that, because this guy, I guess, was known to do that, and I had no idea it was the first time he'd ever done that to me.
Well, one, as our users have pointed out, rat skate is such a terrible name for a drop-in. Drop-in is such a terrible
name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a Chicagoland thing that I now...
Shinny is way better.
I apologize to everybody.
Shinny is way better. I mean, on the topic, I'm pretty much an expert on unsolicited advice because I give out so much unsolicited advice. It's not even funny. As I told you guys, we should just rename the show Unsolicited Advice. The difference is my advice is fucking top notch. All right. If I'm giving you advice,
you've never steered anybody wrong.
No, I would never. I would never ever do that. Everything that I share, that I advise people on, comes from the heart and with love, and should be taken as such, and probably put into practice as soon as humanly possible. But I don't give hockey advice, right? Other than, hey, shut the fuck up and drink that beer, right? That's basically my that's basically my unsolicited advice. But I have been in a situation where people have given me unsolicited coaching on the ice, and I just hate it. Like, listen, I'm out here to have fun. If I wanted to practice and really improve my game, guess what? I would. And I wouldn't come to you, Coach Chad, you know? And so I don't understand the need, like, unless I say, hey, what should I have done there? Which is weird, because people have asked me that, like, well, what should I, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, what? Oh, I don't know what you're, like, where am I supposed to be in that position? I was like, I don't know. Like, you're asking the wrong person here, right? I don't even know where I'm supposed to be half the time.
Do you have your lab coat on in that instance?
No. I'm usually on the bench, and it's weird because it's like, why are you asking me? I am like 99% of this game in the neutral zone, because I'm usually just hanging out, talking to people. I usually stop by the opposing bench and just chat with them as the play's going on. But I like I said, I've experienced it, and I've also experienced people get extremely mad at the other person and then just shit talk the guy, like, while he's on the ice. They're like, this motherfucker, like, he's trying to, like, the guy can't even skate, so what's going on? So,
that's what I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what
it happens. And like, it's like, I get it. Like, I mean, like, I used to coach. It's tough to turn off. Like, when it's during coaching season, I can feel myself wanting to give more advice than I know that I need to or should. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of, it used to be like, when I'm younger, I'm that guy telling people things, and now I just sit on the bench, just like look around, like, all right, someone will tell me something, I'll just give them the look and be like, neat, yeah, no,
neat,
like, hey,
nope.
Like, it's literally like they said, like, it's like, that's like the equivalent of someone trying to fix your technique at the gym. And
yeah, that's a good
like,
point.
Would you go over and just spot someone, like someone's benching, and you just walk up and be like, I got your spot, bud. All right, how about you get that lift a little deeper, and you're just like, bud, I didn't even, like, I'm doing the bar only. That's what I bench, the bar. So I don't really need a spot to do this bar, bud. So why don't you back on off me? I'm going plenty deep enough. So that's a frustrating thing. But
it's always the trash people that give the advice too.
Right,
always. Which it's never the guy that, like, I mean, like, we know people ask Big Dad for advice on hockey, because let's be honest, he's a good player, and he knows a lot about. Ain't
nobody asking Big Dad,
but
advice,
he's not going
to
give advice.
He's not giving. No one's asking him shit.
Advice for. No one's asking for advice in literally anything else but hockey.
No one's.
That Alabama education's not served him too well. But
listen,
when he's on the ice, ask the dude a question.
When Big Dad opens his mouth,
that's fine.
When Big Dad opens his mouth, people are like, this motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. Just because that's just the way it is. He is good at hockey, but he's not giving no one advice. And I can guarantee you, no one's asking him for advice. 100%, no one is. He's trash.
You haven't been on his team, have you?
No.
There are always people asking.
You know why I'm not? Because he's trash.
And it's always like, I always find it funny when I'm on the team with him, because I'll just laugh, because he just, his chest puffs up a little bit and he gets all excited, and he's like a little kid in the candy store talking about what he knows.
And he don't know shit, which is the thing. He's the guy that gives advice and doesn't know shit. All right. Maybe he doesn't do it I've never been on Big Dad's team, but I know without a doubt I would never listen to him on anything, except
Michael Warden. Big Dad, more like little dad.
Except
shit.
He did steer me to the Baja Blast Zero, which was pretty good advice. But I think old Pecky Baby gave him that stuff. So
Peck says he's playing Warzone right now instead of supporting us. That's hurtful.
And now you want to hear advice from him, Dan. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
I don't ask him for advice. If he wants to teach me to shoot, I'll take that. But the rest of it, he can just shove it and walk away.
Wow. No, I guess this took a turn, but I would happily ask. I know there are people that I ask for advice because they are way better than me and like have really great hockey sense, have coached or played high level hockey, and like I'll ask them any time of day for advice, and they know that if they have something to say to me, they can absolutely say it, but we have that relationship. And I always tell beginner players too, especially like women that are starting to play who've never played before, I say, like, whatever team you're on, tell people that you're open to advice if you are, because you want to hear it. You clearly do, because you're asking people you trust. So open it up to the bench if you're open to hearing that feedback so that you can get better. Because especially if you're an adult starting out, you're not necessarily going to classes, or like you don't necessarily have a coach. So you have to kind of lean on other players to help you build your game. And if you're not looking for that advice, then you're not necessarily going to get better. But there are a lot of people that won't give that unsolicited advice because they're not a-holes. Or douchebags, or butt babies. So if you have to ask for it because they're trying to be respectful, especially women, like a lot of guys won't give women advice because there is a weird dynamic there where it's like, I don't want to be the guy at the gym that's trying to correct your form.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as women, you guys get that more than, like me or Nick would, like on the ice, like people coming to you to try to give you advice? Yeah.
Mansplain. Yeah.
Mansplain. All right, yeah. All right.
Yeah. It happens everywhere. I mean, thankfully I know I've played long enough at my rink that I don't get that really anymore, except for this one instance. And the people that like do give me advice are people that I respect and would accept that from.
Well, Hey, what can I give you advice on today, Trish?
Oh gosh, I said people that I respect.
That's why I said. I figured that that's what you were wanting me to ask you. You were playing hard to get. You want some of this Nick advice. So I just hey, I know you're open to advice. I'm open to give advice. All right. So
that's so generous.
If you ever need some advice,
unsolicited.
No, you can solicit it too. All right. Listen, you can solicit whatever you want, and I'm here. I'm here to give some advice. So anything you need a little advice on, is that, hey, do you need any advice on this Omaha draft experience you're coming to? Any questions you have
Ann Arbor? Well, come to Ann Arbor.
Hey, listen, we have 3 spots left for Ann Arbor. Trish is coming to Omaha, and so
isn't Ann Arbor close to Chicago? Like, I don't get what the problem is.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, Ann Arbor. That's really what's been getting me, is that it is a pretty close. So
then what's the problem?
Let's go.
I have
Trish.
like other things going on in my life.
Okay, well, let me give you some advice. You should drop that.
But you don't
stuff.
Understand that those are less important because you haven't.
But it's also hockey. So.
Yeah. Oh, so the inaugural draft experience. So my Sunday league is very strict. Where the point like we have A lines and B lines. Everybody's graded before the season. A line is only allowed to play against the A line and so on. So like home team controls the change. Yeah, they've been doing it 42 years. There's a rule book.
I like
and
that.
They have board meetings every week.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Like it took me 2 years to get in the league, and like now like don't get out because getting back in's a bitch. So last year, like they have a rule on getting a sub. I knew that I would miss championship weekend if we made it because it was the first decks. I wasn't going to miss it. Like I'm not going to miss Mickey Boy's first decks. Like come on. Mm-hmm. It was weird that it was in Omaha, but it was awesome. So I told the team, I was like, hey, if we get there, I can't play. So if you want me to take, because to have a sub, you have to take 5 weeks off so that the guy coming in for you, who has to be either like your grade or lower, gets 5 weeks and they can get like eyes on him on the ice if he's going to join next season. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
I think it's fair. Like that's how I got in my first season. I subbed for months and then I made it onto a team the next season. So it helps to get a view on like what a player actually is instead of just like a pickup game. Like, okay, this is what this guy is. So, and I told him, I was like, hey, I won't make it to the championship. Like, do you want to get a sub to have somebody if you make it? They're like, no, you got us this far. Get us there. I'm like, okay, but if we do make it, I'm still not going to be there. So we do make it. And as happy as you think a team would be to be, after winning the semifinals, going to the championship, I've never felt so much hostility in a locker room. Yeah. So they're like, so you're going to be here? I'm like, no, I'll be in Omaha. They're like, no, we won. You're going to be here. I'm like, no, trip's paid for. They're like, well, this COVID thing could be real because it hadn't like really been like.
It could be.
It was the first weekend it was going to happen, and guess what? It's real.
Yeah, it has been.
So I'm not there, and I have actually our goalie for the Bash in Columbus texted me updates while I'm in Omaha, getting my ass kicked by Big Dad, really, because someone put me in the ring around, and that was a mistake.
Hey, Dan, but this whole story sounds like you're trying to set it up to show you're the ringer of this league. And then you're going to
No,
hit us
I'm
with...
just a good
Yeah, that was
defenseman,
just
and I know
one
my
big brag.
defensive partner, who
Yeah,
will
it
not
was.
be named last season, was not very good. So the team
Yikes.
lost by 1, and I have been blamed for it.
Well, hey, Big
That's rough.
Dad's made
Yeah.
an appearance in the chat. I think it's because he got called out because they said, wow, imagine that. Kara's not on the show, so Big Dad's not in the comments. Because we all know that Big Dad has a crush on Kara.
Oh.
But no, like, yeah, that's a weird league, Dan, for sure. But where I was getting to is I wanted to hear Trish's thoughts, because I'm not normally so I don't get to have a lot of conversations with people that are just getting ready to come to their first decks. So I wanted to get kind of Trish's thoughts on what she's feeling about leading up to her first draft experience, so I can understand,
and being in the ring around.
So I can understand what kind of questions these first timers have. So Trish, any thoughts on Omaha? That you're going to be your first draft experience?
My biggest concern is that I'm going to be the slowest chugger. That's really it, because I don't chug very fast. I don't really know. I don't. Pardon?
I
won't be there, so you might be. I can't chug.
Damn it.
I think
fingers crossed there's someone else that sucks.
I think at the end of the day, I think I just offended Big Mom with my Big Dad joke, and I'm sorry, Big Mom. I didn't mean to offend you. Obviously, I'm just giving Kyle a hard time, but nonetheless, I think
way to go. You got the misses after you.
Yeah. Hey, everyone makes mistakes.
Never anger the wives.
Listen,
man.
hey, I'm going to be honest.
I have seen her angry. She will tear you apart.
I would listen to advice from Big Mom like a million times before I would listen to Big Dad advice. So I hold her in high esteem. But
trying to dig yourself out of that hole, eh?
Well, you have to.
Boy.
I'm a champion backpedaler. So
keep climbing, bud.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people are concerned about the chugging, because I think we kind of play it up like it's a huge deal, right? But at the end of the day, no one.
It's just a fun part of the weekend.
Really cares. Sure, you'll be chirped for being slow, like our buddy Joe Luciano, probably the slowest chugger in the history of drinking anything. But he still comes and he still has a good time, right? So I think
I'll take that title from him, so he can.
So
he can have.
We'll make you
as long as you don't ask to chug water.
Yeah, if you ask,
I would never do that.
If you ask,
so like if you don't drink ginger ale, but we did have one person who wouldn't even do ginger ale. They had to chug water.
And
that's interesting.
Listen,
no, I'm not going to do that.
I get it. Some people don't drink alcohol. I'm not here to judge those people. That's their choice, and I respect the decision. And some people are diabetic and can't drink sugar, or they're on keto. So I get that too, right? So I mean, if you got to chug water, you got to chug water, but it's kind of
it's just got to be carbonated, man.
Yeah, it's a little unfair.
Give it a seltzer.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's a little unfair for the not having the bubbles, because that makes it harder. So. So I think someone just said put Trish in Michael Leonard's chug round and she'll be fine. He is slow as fuck. But I
think I'm slower than Leonard, though.
Well, let's not talk about it. All right, this is the Doggone Leonard segment.
Wait to see where I slide into that.
If that's the only thing that you're concerned about,
Reed, give them milk.
Milk would not be good either.
Oh,
can we ban that person from?
No,
wait. You'll meet Reed in Omaha. He's a wonderful human being. He has great jokes, and I hope the milk is one of them.
He was a wonderful human being till we found out he just wanted to feed everyone milk jugs. But
milk.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't think I'm like, I don't know, nervous, worried, concerned about anything. I think I'm going in with like no expectations and hoping for the best. Just hoping I don't suck so bad,
Yeah.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I think most people come and maybe they're worried about the chug, maybe they're worried about the skill, and then by the second game, they're usually like, okay, this is rad. I mean, usually by the draft party, they're all like, this is rad. But if they're worried about skill, once they get on the ice, they realize, hey, no one actually does give a damn here, unless you dare somebody. If you dare someone, you have to give a damn, apparently. So just don't dare anyone.
Depends on who you dare and what you dare them there, Nick.
Well, hey, I've learned my lesson. All right. So other than that, next.
Is that a Dex tale?
Yeah, you don't want to hear about it. People get heated sometimes. That's just the way. It is sometimes. But all right, what's next topic here? I got to get my water. So you guys talk. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So speaking of skill level, Dan, you were talking about how you had to play down and you played a different position and how you sucked.
Yeah. So like if once you see me in a decks, like I don't play offense. Like I will carry the puck up. Like I'm a defenseman. I'll carry it up, and I'll have fun that way. But I can't play offense if like that's where I'm starting. So my team decided to, out of 15 people and like 2 different teams, not put a team in any of the leagues that are finally starting in Buffalo after months of getting texts. Hey, if you have ice, let me know. If you know where to play, let me know. I'm like, okay, great. Hey guys, here are 3 leagues all starting on the same day. This one's the cheapest. This one is, stop clock. Like, let's do this. Nothing. So I had, I know a guy who plays on a team several divisions lower than my own. Great group of guys. Fun as hell team. I was like, hey, if you need a guy, let me know. Like, I'll play where I got to play. He knows I'm a defenseman. The team should know. I did like 2 practices with them because they were practicing against some other team. Wonderful team names, by the way. Like, they are the Savages after, Macho Man. And the team we had practiced against were the Bob fucking Ross Happy Trees.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Love it. What do the Savage jerseys look like? Do they have jerseys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they're nice. They're nice. They're stitched jerseys. Funny enough, their logo. I'm sure we've all heard of men's league sweaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. Like I have some of their jerseys. They're great. Jacked their logo for a jersey.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, I'm pretty sure the guy called on and I got rid of it. Tom's saying hi, hello. I'll say hi to Jeff Peck since Nick apparently keep calling him someone, and he's getting offended by you not using his name.
Well.
But so I get there Friday, expecting that I'm playing defense because that makes sense. Like I even know the goalie. He knows I play defense, and like, the captain was like, hey, you're playing on a line with Long and this other guy, I don't know his name. And I'm like, oh, well, I play defense. He's like, oh, can you play winger? I'm like, sure, but it's gonna go poorly. And like my first few shifts, like I'm just watching the defense not be able to get it out of the zone and just getting a little frustrated because I know that I could, not because like I'm that good, it's just because like it just wasn't that high level. So I managed to squeeze on a defense for like 6 minutes, and that's the only 6 minutes because it wasn't in our zone. And then I played offense the rest of the time, and it was just a nightmare.
I feel that.
Like, I know how Nick feels about people playing down, and like I agree. Like, don't, at least like if you're like a college player or something, don't go play down in like a little league division. But right. Like I'm just your average beer leaguer playing in a below average league right now, or trying to latch onto a team at least. But
yeah, I think I know where you're
going.
I
think there's ringers that make a difference. There's ringers that'll like control the game. There's ringers that'll put up too many points, and then there's people that
those are the ones that
make
play
a
offense.
Huge difference. Yes. Yep.
Like I am not the guy. Like I'm not going to put up a bunch of points. I can keep it out of our zone and prevent some goals, but I'm not gonna go light it up like like Peck or Kyle, just destroying the goalie. Mm-hmm. I'll throw the puck at it, but it's mainly just as like, hey, someone clean this up for me and get me an apple.
Yeah, for sure. And I get where you're going because I think you're hinting at a conversation we had earlier in the week about the BLPA bash. But first I want to say there's someone in the chat talking about donating for the military draft experience where we're doing a draft experience where it's all active duty retired vets. And people want to donate. You can donate by patreon.com/beerleagueinc, or you can go to paypal.me/beerleagueinc, and the same with Venmo, beerleagueinc. If you want to make a donation, cool. Everyone, $50 minimum will get you a special T-shirt once we get them made for the tournament. But definitely some cool thing we're doing. And then someone also mentioned ringers that put up too many points or scumbags. Yeah, I mean, and I guess in a roundabout way they are, but people that put up 20 points and then tell me they're not ringers, probably bigger scumbags. But also people that sign up for beginner divisions and then put college players on that team. That's a pretty big scumbag move. And that's what I told you happened, Dan, right? I said, hey, we have this beginner team. Now, full disclosure, I was a little bit wrong on this front. But the way we do it is we only have three skill levels, or 4 skill levels, I guess, for the BLPA bash. So we have the beauties, which is the female division. And then we have the benders, which is the beginners. And then we have heroes, which is all intermediate. And then we have ringers, which is the good ones. And so there's not a lot of skill disparity, because what I wanted to do, I knew that heroes would be the biggest division. I wanted to give myself leeway to not say, hey, you're in division 2 or you're in division 5. I wanted to see what the team was made up of, and then be able to split them out on my own, based on the players in that division. A novel idea for sure, right? Not something many people do. This team did sign up for heroes, but told me all of our players only have 1 to 2 years of playing experience. So I thought they would be a better fit for benders. So I just put him down there. Knowing the goalie and some of their players, I was like, okay, that they probably fit in benders. They didn't ask to play in benders. And now when I went back to him and said, hey, like, I moved you down here because you told me your skill level. He's like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, but I saw this guy was a college player. And he's like, well, I can ask him not to play, but in all fairness, he played college 20 years ago, and he weighs 100 plus more pounds than what he did in college.
And I think we talked about that, because you said college club, right? Or that's what he had said?
Yeah, college club for sure.
Yeah, which is,
let's be
honest,
real
very
trash
different.
College club teams.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see him in Ann Arbor. This player in Ann Arbor, so we'll get a pretty darn good gauge.
Oh, well, that's good. Because that's the thing. Like, even like D3 college is better than 95% of any college club out there. Like, college club is, you go to that college and you pay to play on it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it could be anybody.
That. But I just don't think
college
club people are going to have beginners.
It's good that you got the information.
But I just don't think college club people are going to have beginner players. Right? I don't think you're going to start out as a beginner and be like, I'm going to play college club.
I'd be surprised.
Dude, ask Jersey Tim about Buff State's club team. I know one guy that played on it who I would definitely classify as a beginner. He might not see himself as that.
Okay, Dan.
Well, but he's not.
That's a good question. Let me ask you about Buffalo State. How would you classify their team in a skill level setting now? Like, just if the Buffalo State was coming to a tournament, would they be an upper level team?
I mean, I'd have to look at the roster, but if it's their actual team, which I believe is Division 3, yeah, they'd probably be in the Ringer division.
Okay.
You imagine those guys have at least a decent level. Like, you're not usually. I mean, you could walk on to a D3 school. I don't think it'd be really that hard, but like, if there's a kid that just doesn't do well in school and is very good at hockey, he could be going to that school.
But isn't D3
just to play for their team?
But D3 is no scholarship, right?
I don't know. I'm not good enough to ever freaking find that out.
NCAA Division 3 is non-scholarship athletes for sure. I know that for sure. But yeah, so I mean, the hard part about running, like, I have my preconceived ideas of teams, right? And that doesn't match all the time what it is. That's what makes it a hard part of being a director. Like, a lot of teams think that I'm just being super hard on them. Right? Like, oh, you're being a hard ass because we got a couple players, but I have to look out for all 32 teams in this tournament and make sure they have a good experience. And so, like, when I talk about Big Dad and Jeff Peck and Shazi being on a team and then saying, well, I have to put him higher. Like, I think that Peck and Kyle are taking that like I'm taking it out on them personally when I'm not. I just know how good of players they are. And even though Peck says, oh, I'm a D-level.
And especially, they're a special case. Because they don't play in a normal team together. It's just at the tournaments, and the chemistry those two have is ridiculous.
For sure, but
like it is a cheat code.
It's crazy, right? And so it is what it is, right? And like, I know Peck didn't start playing until he was an adult, but he's got skills. Big Dad's been playing his whole life. He's really good, right? And I understand that. Okay, you have these other player, like you have Leonard and you have Test, which are lower level players compared to them. But I've always said, like, okay, well, why is it you don't want to play up because you have these players, but why is it fair that teams that are in lower divisions have you playing down with you being as skilled as you are, right? So
I'm saying right now, he doesn't care where he plays. He'll whoop ass. Also, Derek, I main Yoshi in Mario Kart.
Oh, fuck. I main Yoshi, too, because I'm basic.
That's not basic. It's dinosaur.
Yoshi is very basic.
Donkey Kong for me.
I'm thinking about myself, too.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Not shocking.
Yep. Donkey Kong
Correct.
for me. So I think it's hard, and and obviously I'm close with Peck and Kyle, so they get to hear me talk about it more often than not. So a lot of times I'm busting their balls when I'm talking about skills and stuff, but I definitely don't have a personal agenda on any of these teams, right? I just want everyone to come and have fun, mainly because I want them to come back and keep playing and keep growing it, because I have visions of what I want tournaments to be, and the only way to do that is to make sure that we have fair divisions. And I've been to tournaments where the Dallas douchebags, well, they were called the dirtbags, but they were douchebags, where they came in and they even told us, like, hey, we played A like 2 seasons ago and lost in the championship game. Now we just want to take it easy, so we dropped down to D. And it was like, okay.
Well, you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Going from A to D is huge.
In 2 years, and it's great. Okay, cool. You beat us 9-1 twice. So at that point, they beat all the other teams that bad too. So it's like, why is that fun for us? How is it fun for you? How's it fun for us? And how about the other teams that could have made the championship game with us and been somewhat competitive? But I've also been the opposite way, where we signed up for a tournament and we were lower than what we should have been, but we didn't know, right? That's why I'm trying to create this universal beer league players database to kind of help us in that quest, right? And like when we go to Maryland, we can kind of get a gauge of how those teams are. So teams that come from out of town, it just kind of matches up, right? It's never going to be perfect, but I think that at least we're showing the effort to do that.
I agree. Like, we've all been in those tournaments where you think, oh, good, I'm in this division. This is where I believe my team belongs. And then you get shit on. It's like, cool, that was fun for me. Well, like it's never perfect, like you said, but like you're you're putting in the effort to try to make it work.
100%.
Someone's going to get shit on. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And I assume people signing up for tournaments just know at this point, they're like, oh, hey, we want to win, but let's go have some fun, because who the hell really knows?
For sure. And that's kind of what it is. And at least I think if they show that we're trying to do what we're doing, right? Like, obviously this is our first team tournament. That's not an excuse. That's just saying, for us, like we have to kind of flesh out our system and see how it's going to work for us. And once we see teams and we can get a better gauge, I think it just, like, because right now I don't know Chicago hockey, right? Like, I've never played in Chicago. I have friends there, but I don't know what a D level Chicago team is, right? It could be guys that have played their whole life. I don't know, right? And so once we get the ranking system, I think it's just one of those things where it's an uphill battle for sure. And the only thing we can do is take the mentality of, we want everyone to have fun. That's why I like Randy and me, we want to play, but it's like, I don't want to play because I don't want there to be that concern that the guys running this tournament are just in here to win it. Right.
If Randy plays, he'll win.
Well, that's why. Exactly.
He won't even have to try. It's just what happens when Randy plays, he wins.
Exactly. Right. So we'll keep doing our thing. And like, everyone's talking about tournaments here in the chat where, it happens here. It happens everywhere. It just does.
It does.
And,
it's just the way it is. Like, it's not usually like a league putting on a tournament, even when they do. Like, I've played in like one of our local leagues tournaments, and like, I think that's the tournament I've been shit on the most, because suddenly they're like, oh, well, these guys are 4 divisions higher, but they're missing these players. And then, well, guess what? Those players show up anyway.
For sure.
And we get our shit kicked in.
Listen, I run it as a business, right? This is how I provide for my family. This is how I pay my bills. And I think some people take that into effect when they're doing it, and they only care about the fees. So let's just fill it up so we can make our margins, and we can, and that's the furthest thing from my mind. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll refund someone right now if I'm like, okay, I have nowhere to move teams right now, division wise, right? So like, I can't take the guy in the big benders and move him up because our spots are full, right? So I would much rather give that guy a refund and say, okay, just let's try it again next time, rather than just force him in and say, okay, we'll just see where it goes, right? Because I don't think that's fair to all the other teams that have taken the chance to come play with us. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, and if they don't have a good time, they're not coming back.
Right.
Exactly. 100%. And I don't want just a 30-team tournament. I think a 30-team tournament is cool. It's a great first start, but I want a 100-team tournament, right? I want it to where this is a weekend that people talk about and they say, we have to go play here, because not only does the company...
like a festival of sorts?
You mean like a fest? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
BLPA Fest, where we do all different sports. But no, I think that, I want 100 hockey teams, right? That's kind of hard with, the ice requirements that we'd need for that. But I want people to talk, like, they talk about PAPS where it sells out in the first day because just how the experience, right? And that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build an experience that people talk about, people want to be involved in, and you can already see it evolving. Like we sold out Columbus 4 times, right? The only spot we have left in Columbus right now is for a women's team, right? And so I think that the key is you just have to you have to be active in doing the sandbag. And I'm not going to get it perfect, but doesn't mean I can't keep trying.
Yeah.
Right. So
we've been talking about this for a while, but I want to go back to like the original
OG
statement. So Dan, you're a bit of a liability when you play forward because you're a defender, right?
Well, just in
general.
My
mind. I mean, like, and I know because I see Peck and Kyle talking shit. Like when I'm at the Dexes, I skate it up all the time. It's just because usually the opportunity's there, it's fun.
Yeah.
But like I'm also not usually taking those very seriously, and I know they aren't either. Like I can only imagine what those two playing together serious looks like. I hope I'm not on the receiving end of it. Because those two goofing around just sounds terrible. But no, like when I play in like league games, like I take it much more seriously. And like I'm usually the guy hanging back. A lot of that is trust issues with my defensive partner, depending on who it is. But I very rarely skate it up in a league game.
I'm very similar.
But in the decks, I'll skate it up all day. Like there's always an opportunity, especially in the first game when like the team hasn't figured out where everyone needs to be. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go have some fun and get a shot off on net. I'm not gonna score, but I'll get a shot on net and I'll feel really good about it.
Yeah, I'll go 3 feet wide and still feel really good about it. So. That's all. Nick, what position? I don't think I actually know this. Do you play wing?
No, I don't have a set position. I'm just wherever I am.
Nick just plays.
You know what I really like? I really like face-offs. So I like playing center to take face-offs.
Kyle, I'm gonna rip one off. You keep talking crap, bud.
I like taking the face-offs, but I don't like the defensive responsibilities of having to be back there as a center. So I'll take some face-offs and just kind of float around. General beer league shit.
Yeah.
Can't
so
talk.
You're a liability no matter where you are.
Yeah. Hey, listen, can't talk right now doing beer league shit.
Okay. I was just curious because sounds like Dan and I are on the same page.
I don't like the wing because I have troubles picking up passes up the boards. I don't like center because there's defensive responsibility. But what I really like, just sitting on the bench and bullshitting with folk. That's what I like.
That sounds about right.
But hey, I will tell you, every single draft experience, every single one, every single tournament or team I played on, I have unequivocally led that team in warm-up goals. I am I'm literally the best player in warm-ups every single game. Like if we kept stats, you guys would be amazed by how many pucks I put in net in warm-ups. It's absolutely
You mean like the one game you kept stats for block shots when I know I had more than you?
Nope, you didn't, Dan. I'm sorry, you didn't. I am a shot blocking machine, that's for sure. Like that puck is just a magnet to me. And I get in front of them. I'm a team guy. And that's what I do. But I do score a lot of warm-up goals. So goalies, warm-ups, yeah, you better check yourself because I'm going to wreck you.
Nick's the guy in warm-ups that's trying to deke out the goal instead of actually warm him up.
Just going to say that.
I don't have any dekes, but I'll screen the fuck out of a goalie in warm-ups. That's for sure.
You love that too.
100%. 100%. That's what I'll do.
Okay, so speaking of stressful goalie situations, because that stressed me out right now.
That's what I'm here for.
Shootouts in beer league. You wanted to know how we felt about shootouts in beer league, and I didn't think I had thoughts on this, but the more I started thinking about it, the more I realized I did have thoughts. But why don't you kick it off, Nick?
Yeah, hey, I love shootouts in beer. I don't ever take them. I would rather not, but I do have a cool way. The draft experience does shootouts really cool. Like every game can end in a tie except the championship games. Or the games, if you have 6 teams in a tournament, then the first games on Sunday decide who goes to what championship. Or I'm sorry, in a 4-team, they decide what team goes to which championship game. So we do shootouts, but we don't let the teams pick the shootout players because what I found is when we did that, people will just pick the best players. It'll just be the ringers taking shots all the time. And so what we do is I just use a number randomizer and we randomize whatever round. So whatever round you're in is the jersey on the back of the number. So if you're round 6, you're number 6. So I randomize them so no one knows who's shooting. It's just that the same level player is shooting. So it could be number 6, number 10, number 13. That's who takes the shootout for you. And so it gets a lot of people into the game. And the first time we did it, someone came to me and said, hey, listen, my team back home would never let me take a shootout. And I got to take one and I scored. And so that kind of resonated with me. So I've always done that ever since. But, I think shootouts are a part of the game. I think that some people take a lot of pride in their shootouts. And so why not? Like, why keep that from them if there's an opportunity, right? Because I see people at pickups all the time. They're always practicing their shootout moves. And I have a shootout move that works 98% of the time. It's only.
What is it?
I can't tell you. I don't want the book to be out on me. I don't use it very much because I don't get many shootouts. But when I get in a shootout, it works. But I'm not going to tell you.
How many times exactly has it worked?
Probably once.
98 out of 100. That's how many times it's worked. 98%. That's math. I'm not a mathematician. I'm a scientist, but that's math.
See, I differ on the shootouts. I think they're a terrible idea. And but I do agree, especially at the decks is you'll call a random number and that person's probably never taken one. So it's exciting and they love it. But in a league game, even at a professional level, I just don't think they have a place in hockey personally. It is advantage to the shooter every single time.
But
every time.
But that's not true, because I think if you did the math on it, you would see that it's probably an advantage to the shooter for sure. But if you look at people in shootout moves, if you look at their percentage, more people than not are 50% or less on shootout attempts, for sure.
Well, yeah. If you want to,
so then that wouldn't be advantage shooter, Dan.
Let's be honest, way too fancy with it when their shot is just going to beat the goalie on its own.
Okay, but
yeah.
But
that's my number one thing is when guys are going up for a shootout on my team, just don't be fancy.
Don't be
if you
fancy.
Want to win, just shoot the puck.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you said that it's advantage shooter, and the numbers suggest otherwise. So you're just kind of we can't just make up. We can't make up facts. Facts are it is an exciting part of the game.
You can.
Well, I'm different.
My opinions are facts, so I think
exactly factual opinions. I already did
that. No, I can't think of a single goalie that enjoys a shootout, but a good shooter usually does. Is oh, well, I'm just gonna go score this real quick because what's the goalie gonna do? I give him one good fake or two, he goes down. There it is.
But
it's always advantage shooter, and I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to tweak it, but I also feel a team that manages to make it through, if there is an overtime, some leagues don't do it, some do, that manage to make it through the overtime to lose a game because one dude managed to score on your goalie because he's exhausted after how long.
Well, Dan, listen.
I think that's what it boils down to for me is it's a team sport. So it should be a team effort for the win rather than a shootout where you're relying on these individuals to make an effort. But, and I think in the spirit of the game, an overtime is a lot more exciting than a shootout. I think shootouts are super fun, and I think in a deck scenario, that's super fun, and I'm so down. And once in a while in a low stakes game, a shootout is super fun if you're not just putting your hot shots out there to score. That's not as fun to watch because I know the guys on my team that are going to score 99% of the time, and is it that fun to watch? Not really. But in a fun game
it's more funny if they miss. It's oh, and they know they messed up and they're pissed about it.
Oh yeah.
But I think in general most people love it, advantage player or not. Listen, when you go to a casino, the odds are always in the house's favor, but people still out there gambling because there's that chance.
I guess if you're talking about it from a fan standpoint, they might like it, but let's be honest, there aren't a lot of fans for beer leagues, so who gives a shit?
Well, fans are what pays.
That's why I think it's more fun at tournaments because there are generally more spectators.
Yeah, definitely more fun at the decks is for sure.
But that kind of
just like you said, giving people the chance.
But it contradicts you because you said it's okay in beer league where there aren't any fans, but it's not okay in the pro game where there are a lot of fans. But the shootouts are way more entertaining for the fans.
I also don't think the game should cater to the fans.
Well, who pays the salary?
Sure, every player loves their fans and whatever. But I'm sorry, I think they'd rather win the game than give them a show.
Well,
yeah, sure or like, with the exception of like the All-Star weekend where like that's super fun to watch.
You got a whole weekend to have fun with that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm way more about the show. So if I'm on the ice and I got fans, I'm giving them a show. And if that means pulling out my 98% shootout move, that I'm probably going to do that, right? So I think it has its place. I think it's hockey. While yes, it is a team game, it is made up of individuals that all have distinct skills. That's why there's a first line, a second line, a third line, and a fourth line, because that all, it all meshes together. And so sometimes you have to put the skill on display. If it was just a team game and we're just doing that, then why doesn't the first line play the same amount of minutes as the fourth line or vice versa, right?
They do in beer league.
No, that's untrue. Because if you look at a player like Big Dad, like his shifts are like 7 minutes compared to a beginner that just gets on for a couple minutes and then gets off.
Well, that's a selfish problem,
I'm just saying.
Not a line problem.
Just saying. So, all right.
I'm just watching the comments waiting for him to perk up on that.
Let's he'll say, "The fuck? What the fuck?" All right.
Aaron says, "I hate my fans, but if I had fans, I'd love them. I'll sign whatever you want."
I'm your fan, bud.
He also called you cute like a little bit ago. Yeah. So
I saw it. That's our own special moment.
All right, let's end this. Like we've been going an hour here. Let's end this with the little fight liney cut and would you rather. Which one do we want to do first? Would you rather? Let's do would you rather.
Would you rather? Okay.
I get to make the calls.
I'm just gonna do a couple here. This one, actually no, I'm not gonna start with that one. Would you rather take a shot for a game-winning goal and there's a 50% chance it's gonna go in, or pass it for 100% chance of that goal going in?
That's it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, I like to put on a show, but winning is a show in itself, and so I would like to win. But I mean, that's a good question because wouldn't you also rather be?
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't you also rather be the shooter that is the hero? Because no one remembers.
Yeah, shooter's gonna shoot.
No one remembers the assists.
I know my shot. I think it's lower than 50%. Even in the scenario where it's 50%, I'm probably
you don't trust that 50%. Yeah, I think I'd. I mean, I'd rather get an assist than a goal any day because I don't get enough goals to really like have that build on me. So.
Okay, you know what? I'm changing. I'm trying to be too nice. I would for sure take the shot if I had it. 100%.
I know you would take the shot. I've seen you take the shot.
I would take the shot.
Like I've seen you look. I'm pretty sure you did it in Charleston. I think you looked right at Peck and you said, "Fuck it."
Well,
and you shot it.
I mean, let's be fair. That one, it's because when I play on a line with Peck, I'm in the corner yelling for passes and he's dangling 4 people. And okay, it works sometimes.
He's got to dangle at least 6 to get the shot off. That's how he charges it.
Exactly. So for me, it's like, okay, I saw Peck over there. I saw him over there calling for it, and I said, "Nah, not today, bud." And just did I score on it? Probably not. But there was a 50% chance that I was going to, so I took it anyway.
Well, maybe not in that scenario.
All right. Okay. Next.
Moving on. Would you rather be the fastest player on the ice or have the hardest shot?
Fastest player for sure.
Fastest, easy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have the hardest shot, maybe because I've like never had a hard shot.
Well, I
don't want to scare people.
I've never had either.
I don't scare enough people. I would like to.
I've never had either, but I just know like if you're fast, you can do a lot of things. And
that's not true.
That is 100% true. You can do a lot of things quickly.
Absolutely not. Well, just because my feet are fast doesn't mean my hands are fast enough to keep up with it.
That wasn't the question.
True.
I know guys that have hard shots, and I'm scared of them. I'm intimidated, right? But it's all they got.
Well, I guess it's like, I mean, look at McDavid. He is probably the definition of speed right now. There might be guys that could beat him in a straight line, but not one out with the puck.
Yeah, me. I've got the Hockey Tracker app to show. I've skated away. I've got it. It's like everyone wants to say it's a glitch. Well, until I see that glitch info, right now I skate faster than McDavid in a straight line. I might have thrown the watch. I don't know, but I know the speed told me.
Nobody knows. Nobody saw it.
Yeah. The speed told me that at one point in that game, I skated 40 miles an hour. So basically I could almost get on the highway with that speed. So.
Wow.
Well, you could. You would just be the guy that everyone's yelling at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically just like me on the ice. So.
He would be in the left lane for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Wondering why everyone's honking.
No question.
All right. Is that the only one? Or we got one more?
We've got one more.
Okay.
Would you rather have amazing sex that lasts like 45 seconds or average sex that lasts 10 minutes?
Well, okay. 10-minute sex.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Woo.
So,
woo, boys. 10 minutes. Well, stamina daddy.
10 minutes of stamina for you?
Yeah, if you think 10 minutes is stamina down, I'm so sorry.
Well, we know Nick's answer already.
Woo, give me that great sex 45 seconds.
All right, so is it great and average for both parties or just for you?
Look at Dan.
Both parties. Great question.
Wait, hold on. So so if it's great for the other person, so you're both getting off in 45 seconds? Okay.
That's efficient.
Yeah. That's just,
I'm not saying that's my answer. I'm just saying that's efficient.
That's just getting work done, right? So you knocked them both out. It was great, exceptional. People loved it, and you can move on to the next thing. I mean, if that's what it is, then yeah, sure.
To some people, that might be more important.
Well,
that would be I'm going with 45 seconds.
Yeah, because the plan is to get
because average sex is not that great or memorable. I'd rather have
so I guess
45 seconds.
See, this is what makes it tough, is because like there's no context. Like, is this someone you've been with for forever, or is it like one night, there it is?
And I think if we were going
one night,
if we were really going
one night, 45 seconds.
Yeah, if we were really going to ask the question, it would have to be only for you. Like, it's the greatest sex for you for 45 seconds, not for them.
You want to disappoint the hell out of someone?
Okay.
Or sort of disappoint them?
Well, I mean, the nature of the question is everyone would answer they would want the greatest sex for 45 seconds if it was for both people. But if the question was...
Not necessarily.
If the question was...
I mean...
It's great 45 seconds.
Would you pass up something great for something average?
Yeah, never. I never would. Ever.
For a one-night stand?
So...
Or for a lifetime situation?
But what I'm saying is what the question should be...
I think I still want a great or average no matter the situation.
So it's great for you for 45 seconds, right? Not great for them, but it's average for you for 10 minutes. And it's good for them.
Great for them.
Or not great.
I would go to 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a different question. But if we're just 45 seconds and we're both there, cool. We're efficient.
Yeah,
fuckers.
That means I got a whole night ahead of me.
Exactly. Get on that war zone,
switch
boys.
it up then. Great sex for you, okay for them. And vice versa.
Then it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's...
I'm pleaser.
I mean,
I'm sticking with 45.
Hey, if it's a one night stand,
I've been disappointed enough that I'm allowed to have this one.
But in this scenario, I mean, you can't say that you would know, but future you now knows that it would have been great for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Would that change your answer?
No.
Hey, I think if it's a one night stand, if it's a one night stand, then I'm gonna go with the me all the time. Like if it's a relationship where it's ongoing. Like if I'm just seeing this person for 1 second, well, I'm probably only concerned about myself at that point, right? I mean, that's just real. We're all selfish individuals. Anyone that says, "Oh, it's a one night stand, I care about them too," probably not being 100% honest with themselves. But that's just. Mm-hmm. But if it's 45 seconds and it's the greatest sex, but you can do it 10 times. 45 seconds, like they said, 45 seconds at a time.
Well,
can
that's
add up pretty fast.
Whole nother question. That's a whole nother world.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to my world, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's end this up.
Let's
wrap
move on,
it up.
Please.
Would you rather?
What is it? Fight, liney, cut?
Yeah, fight, liney, cut. Let's do it.
So I had asked you if it needed to be people, and I had a lot of people in mind, and then I decided that just wasn't. None of them were good enough. And I'm not saying that this is, but
great.
So, you got to set the bar low, so you guys can be like, "Oh, wow, he really beat expectations." So fight, liney, cut. The NHL, the MLB, and the NFL.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I mean, I think
it is a really good one.
It's so hard, Dan, because I love all those sports, and like for a long time.
And that's why I didn't pick the NBA, because I know that you like these three.
I would have cut the shit of that, but I love baseball. Like I love it as a sport, and for a long time I was just a baseball guy. But like if we talk about what would you rather watch and be entertained by, baseball has to be cut in my book. even though I love it. Like,
what if it's not good? What if it's purely based on how the organization runs its sport?
Well, okay.
Take away the entertainment value, because if it's entertainment, it's got to be the NHL.
Well, I think the NHL is trash with the way they run things.
Exactly, and that's what makes it tough. Because in terms of watching, I want to watch hockey over pretty much any other sport because what's really better. But in an organization that runs its sport, they are constantly trying to ruin their own sport.
100%. But you take it your way. I'm going to take it my way. I'm going to cut Major League, and I'm going to. I think I would fight the NHL just because I do have some issues with them. The fact that they allowed the Edmonton Oilers to have that many number one draft picks in such a short period of time is fucking bogus. It just reeks of collusion. Reeks of it. And I can't prove it, but I know it happened 100%. And the Oilers are trash. Their whole organization is full of scumbags. And I don't know what they did to get that. But the fact that not only did they get that they're still trash is just alarming and embarrassing for the sport, really. So I'm going to fight them because of that. And then obviously I'm lining the NFL. I love the NFL. I love the game. But even they do shitty things that I don't like the whole roughing the passer, the protecting. I understand the quarterback's important, but he's also a player on the team.
Protecting Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's also a player on the team that, runs with the ball and deserves to be hit. Like, that's part of being a quarterback, to be able to make those plays with the threat of being hit. And now they're kind of taking that out of the game. But I still love watching football, for sure. Next.
What you got, Trish?
Next. I think if I was listening enough that I have the same answer as Nick, but for different reasons, for no real reason whatsoever, just for like my own imaginary brain space. I'm going to absolutely not fight the NFL because we talked about this, I think last week, where like if we were talking about fighting NHL or NFL players, and the intimidation factor of NFL players, don't want to fight them. So I'm going to fight the NHL as a league. I'm going to cut baseball because I like the Jays, but I'm not a diehard baseball fan. I'm not going to watch every game. Not super excited about it. And then I'm going to liney NFL because anytime I liney someone, they've got to be like feisty and fun. And all I can think about is all the Bills fans smashing tables and their tailgate. And I can't give that up. I want that on my line. So I'm taking that.
Come do a game. I'll put you both through a table. It's fun.
Absolutely. 100%. I'm there.
See, I'm cutting the NHL strictly because I think that they're hurting the sport more than they're helping at this point. And it's not the players' fault because they want the sport to grow. Mm-hmm. I'm fighting the MLB because I think out of the three, that's the easiest fight. And I'm lining the NFL because I think as a league that even though they do have their issues, and I've got, Brooke over here calling me a butthurt Bills fan because of Brady. And you're goddamn right. He ruined 20 years of my life. Not that the Bills organization did anything to help it, but I will, fuck Tom Brady and his many Super Bowls that I had fun watching when he was with the Bucs. No, I'm lining the NFL because I think I don't like Roger Goodell, but I think he's running the league better than others. Not that there's somebody that couldn't do the job better for the NFL. I think in terms of, you watch the NHL, like, hell, at this point, I think Goodell could walk into the NHL and fucking flip that thing around because our boy ain't doing it. But
well, he's also acting.
I'm definitely not fighting an NFL.
Listen, I'm not a Bettman fan by any means, but at the end of the day, like, we have to realize that he has a boss too, and it's every single one of those owners. So it's
the owners. Well, I mean,
at the end of the day, it's not him making decisions.
Who's a scary NHL owner? Jerry Jones doesn't own an NHL team.
I don't know because I'm not privy to that. But it's like the Flames; they have like 7 owners, right? So you don't hear it. It's not as mainstream, right? So you don't get to hear about that kind of stuff. But I'm sure there are owners that hold like, look at the Edmonton Oilers, like probably a big revenue generator, even though they're trash. But there's maybe there's something there, right? I don't know. But I do know at the end of the day, Bettman has a boss, just like we all do. So to put all the blame squarely on him.
And rich people are terrifying.
100%. 100%. They're terrifying when they don't get their way, of course, right?
Yes.
I mean, look what they did to us with GameStop, Dan. They fucked up.
Yeah.
We called them
100%.
We called them on it, Dan. We bought it. We called it. We were going to get rich ourselves. And then they came and they said, nah, not you guys.
Yeah.
Not you little folks.
And you know what? Now, like, I was going to have diamond hands before. And you know what? That bitch ain't ever getting sold at this point.
Nope. No, hey, the only way I'm selling it is if it's $1 million. That's how I'm selling it, right? So diamond hands.
But I don't like
forever,
that. That's a
to the
perfect
moon.
example.
I like
of how,
this stock.
You know, rich people manipulate their markets, whether it be sports, finance. You know, they're gonna get their way.
For sure. All right. Well, let's end this, guys, because I know Trish has a hockey game to get to. But hey, I had a great week.
Allegedly.
I've never seen any proof. But all right, guys. Hey, had a great week. We'll see you guys next week. I might be traveling next week, so we might not have any live shows for a little bit just because I'll be on the road. But we'll try to make it happen. But if not, we'll still have the audio, so you'll have to download it. Other than that, guys, we'll see you next week. Anything to say, Dan, Trish? Anything?
Are you going to say your thing?
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people want it.
Hey, guys, be good or be good at it.